Hello. This video is to demonstrate the use of TTC to determine viability of a plant seed, or the embryo, I should say, within a plant seed. The way that TTC works is based on its electronegativity. It's a very electronegative molecule, and as a result, it will steal electrons from the electron transport chain of any living organism that it comes in contact with. And so instead of electrons reaching oxygen as a terminal electron acceptor, they'll instead reach TTC and reduce it, and when they reduce it, it forms a red dye. And so if we want to determine whether or not a seed is viable, whether or not the embryo is still alive, what we'll do is place the seed face down in a little bit of TTC, and if the dye turns red over time, we'll know that there's electron transport actively taking place within the embryo. Okay, so that's basically the idea here. So I'm going to so what I'm going to do then is for the rest of this video, I'm going to show you the setup for the experiment. I'm going to show you how I actually test the viability of the embryos. And then we'll check in on it every 15 minutes or so that you can determine what's happening in terms of electron transport. So, just to give you an idea, there are two seeds here. One of them has been heat killed, and one of them is live. You're going to determine which is which, and so you're going to see me putting a drop of TTC into two different locations on a petri dish. I'm going to be putting the seeds facing downward into the TTC, one into each of the drops of TTC, and then again from time to time we'll check back in on those and see whether or not we have color development. Okay, so here's our petri dish, and I'm going to get a little bit of our dye. I'll put a drop into each of those two locations. Okay, I'm now going to take my embryos. So I have oh, dropped it. So I have this seed. This is a chickpea that's been split open. I'm going to take that and just put it face down into one of the drops. Okay. I'm going to take the other seed and put it face down into the second drop. Okay. So you see one is labeled A, one is labeled B, and so from time to time we're going to come back in and check in on whether or not there's a difference between the two. Just as a quick test, we're going to flip these over and take a look at the color as it is now. Okay. You can see no color development, and I'll rearrange B, put it back in its spot. Okay, and we'll check back in on it in about 15 minutes. Okay, so we're now at 15 minutes since we started this. So I'm going to just turn these over. Hopefully they stay put. And okay, so what you're going to want to look at is whether or not we've got color development in A versus B. Okay, so that's 15 minutes. We'll check back in on it again in about another 15 or so. Okay, and here we are now looking at these plates at half an hour after 30 minutes. So again, here's A and B. Okay, and we'll come back and check them out again at 45 minutes. Okay, so now we're going to take a look at these at 45 minutes. So I just flip it over here for a minute. Okay, so that's A and B. Okay, and we're going to take a look at them one more time at an hour. Okay, and so this is our final time point. So these are seeds A and B after 1 hour.